We have three different ways that we're going to learn how to solve systems of equations in two variables. So that we have graphing, substitution, and elimination. This first video, we're going to talk about how to solve them by graphing them, okay? And remember, the solution is going to be where they intersect. So we're going to start off, I'll show you how to kind of do it by hand, and then we'll also do it with our calculator. Okay, so the first thing we need to do in number one here is for each of the equations, solve for y. So I'm going to call this equation A and B. So for A, here we have 2x minus 3y equals -1. So to solve for y, the first thing I'm going to do is subtract 2x from both sides. So I can write this as -3y equals -2x minus 1. And then to get y by itself, I need to divide everything by -3 every term. So that's going to give me y equals, now the negatives here cancel out, so I have 2/3 x, and again here the negatives cancel, plus 1/3. Okay, and then for B, I have -x plus y equals 7. So I just need to add x to both sides, and I get y equals x plus 7. So I need to graph both of these equations, and these are in y equals mx plus b. And so why don't I graph the first one in blue? And so we're going to graph the b, or we're going to, sorry about that. We're going to graph the y-intercept here, which will just be 1/3, and we do have to kind of guess, but that's okay. And that's why using our calculator sometimes can be a little quicker and more precise. And then the 2/3 for our slope means we're, from that point, we're going to go up to, again, we kind of have to guess, and then go right 3, 2, 3. And that will be our line. Okay, why don't I do the next one in red? So x plus 7, sorry, my hand keeps hitting that. That's being really sensitive today. So for x plus 7, I'm going to graph the y-intercept of 7, and then we would go up 1 and over 1. Now we can also go down 1 and left 1. We get a graph like this. Now, unfortunately, the graph we have, we can't see the intersection point. So what we're going to do is use our graphing calculator, and in y1, we're going to put the 2/3 x plus 1/3. And in the second one, we're going to put the x plus 7. We'll hit graph. Okay, and again here we can't see where they intersect. Now we really need to zoom out. We see that it's probably going to be happening over here. I'm going to hit zoom fit because sometimes that will, it's going to try to guess, and it should give us the intersection. Oh, it still doesn't, so we're going to have to zoom out, and we know we want to be over here, so we're going to kind of move the cursor just to where we think it's going to happen. Now just hit enter, and that's kind of off your screen. Okay, there we see our intersection point, and so we're going to have to hit second calc, and number 5 is intersect, so we're going to go down to number 5 and hit enter. And we're going to say enter, jump to the other curve, enter. You can give a guess, you can kind of move it down, enter. Okay, and here we see our intersection is at -20, -13. And that's going to be our solution. Remember to check, we would plug it into both equations to see if it works. So the first one we'd say, okay, is 2 times -20 minus 3 times -13, is that equal to -1? So let's see. 2 times -20 minus 3 times negative 13. Okay, that is negative 1. So now we want to check the next one. Is negative 20 plus negative 13 equal to 7? And if we check it, we'd get 20 minus 13 equals 7, which is true. So that is our solution. Okay, now let's look at the next one. We have 3x plus y equals negative 10, and 2x plus 2y equals negative 16. So we'll call this A and this B. So for A here, we have 3x plus y equals negative 10. So to solve for y, we just need to subtract 3x from both sides. So we get y equals negative 3x minus 10. Okay, and let's go ahead and graph that in red. Now, unfortunately, negative 10, so that'd be negative 7, negative 8, negative 9, negative 10 would be like down here. And to do negative 3, we would go down 3 and over 1. We can also go up 3 and right 1, or left 1. Okay, so this would be our line. Now I'm going to change to blue to do B this time. So B here, we have 2x plus 2y equals negative 16. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. So I get 2y equals negative 2x minus 16. And now I need to divide both sides by 2. So I have y equals negative x minus 8. So I'll go down to negative 8. Again, I need to go down 1 and over 1, or up 1. And here we can see it looks like our intersection is at negative 1, negative 7. Okay, we can check that. If we plug it into the first one, is 3 times negative 1 minus 7 equal to negative 10, and it is. If we plug it into the second equation, is 2 times negative 1 plus 2 times negative 7 equal to negative 16, and we'd have negative 2 plus negative 14, so it is. So that is our solution, negative 1, negative 7. And you could do it on the calculator by putting in what our y equals were. So we had negative 3x minus 10. And then for y2, we have negative x minus 8. Now I'm going to hit zoom 6 just because we had changed our window, and that puts us back at the standard window. Okay, there we see our intersection. So we hit second, the trace button because it says calc above it. We want the intersection point, so we go down to 5. And here you're just going to hit enter 3 times very carefully. And we see that it gives us negative 1, negative 7. So this is how we solve systems of equations graphically.